My name is Ameen Hadi. I'm a community development worker for East Salford Neighbourhood Management Team, part of Salford City Council. And I'll be one of the people that's been involved in bringing this project together to tackle hate crime in the community. Obviously, hate crime is a real issue that blights people's lives in the area. And it's quite distressing when you visit people that are suffering hate crime to find out that they're not treated with the same dignity and respect that you would hope that everyone is treated in society. So it was really important that we tried to bring together all the agencies that could play a part in making it a better situation for people that suffer hate crime, so they get support, but hopefully to raise awareness so that we can reduce the problem in our community. So Refugee Action, Youth Service Participation Team that helped fund us, East Salford Neighbourhood Management Team, the police, a whole series of agencies, Salix Homes, have all been involved in this project to discuss and hopefully learn more about why hate crime happens and why we need a collective solution, why we need to get the community involved to make a change.
And action.
Hate crime is an attack, either verbal or physical, on somebody due to their membership of a particular social group.
Because of their race, their religion, their ethnicity, in my case their age.
And anything that's motivated by that prejudice.
And the key thing is that it is a crime and it's enshrined in legislation.
You know, I'm from different countries, so I'm speaking different language, you know what I mean? Just like, sometimes when he's speaking some language, like, some people he got like, he said like his face is gonna be changed, like he say, oh, Asian, or he say something bad to you, you know what I mean? So this happened to us like loads of times. Sometimes when you go into somewhere, maybe in town, maybe in a weekend night, you know, sometimes some people, like English people, he try to fight with us, you know, as well. He tried to fight with you because he say, this is Asian, like a foreigner, something like bad he told. I can't say something bad, like, but he told you something bad, like, and he just break your heart as well, like.
Right, I came here in Salford 2006, and I can say for the first 8 months were not easy. We were targeted by the local lads a lot. We couldn't walk outside, even to take my kids to school. It was a nightmare. We would just get names thrown at us, stones. At one time, I was in my flat where I was living. We had a stone come through at the window, and luckily I had police coming and helped us, you know, like to have the double glaze in the house, and that was not easy.
راسك سكانتو بلام بيما ملي براسي يعني تشتي كوكو مثالي وكو نموني بينتي تشتي الريدا ولا قلتا
والله من روجكي چون بۆ شۆبەی تەنیشمان خۆمانەوەیە لە ڕۆمن ستریت دەژیم شۆبێکی لێ لەو بەرەوە چون بۆیە 3 نەفەرم توش بوو سێم کرد داوای جگەرەیان لێم کرد وتم جگەرەم پێ نییە وەڵا دانەی گاناتە پێشەوە کردی بە یەخەمە وتی چیت پێ دەریکەی تەلەفۆن و پارە و هەموو شتێکمان بەرێ وتم هیچ شتێکم پێ نێت ئاپتان دەمێ هەتا ئەوە بوو من لەوێ دەرچووم لە دەستیان خەریب و ببێ بە شەڕشمان باز من ڕام کرد لەوێ
You might expect the Church of England to take a very inclusive and open-handed view of ethnicity, of gender, of sexual orientation, and so on. So we do our best to sort of, as it were, hold the whole community. But I'm well aware of the rise of the British National Party, who've put up candidates here in local elections, and they think they're on a ticket to actually win some support because they detect in Salford a sense that people are not happy with the way the city is developing, and you know, we take the opposite view, of course.
My name's Inspector Steve Bailey. I'm responsible for the neighbourhood policing team that covers East Salford, and that incorporates Broughton, Irwell Riverside and Kersal wards. My role in relation to hate crime is one of monitoring what hate crime occurs on my neighbourhood area, and really I suppose looking at the long-term problem solving to try and prevent hate crime from occurring, and sort of things that entail is to make the offender aware of what the impact of their hate crime is on the individual that's been subject of it. And it's been proved to be a really good way of reducing crime generally, and making them realise that what they say or do has this massive impact on the victim.
The experience that I've picked up here is that it's quite hard to empower people who have been disempowered over a long time, and that's hard, but whatever I can do with my colleagues and the people I work with, who of course are all volunteers pretty much, is to engage and help and facilitate and get alongside people.
Well, I can't say all of them now. Some English, but I've got loads of English friends, you know, and it's very nice and friendly as well, you know. But I can say those people, hopefully one day just like, you say I'm wrong, like because it's like stupid thing, you know what I mean? Like it's not gonna be, because we are human in this country, in any country. So I'm speaking different language, you're speaking different language. So that means you are better than me or better than you? No, just like this is life, like different world, different everything. You know what I mean?
I had one community worker who was involved in that area where we were living that told me that, you know, for me to help myself to start getting out more and start volunteering in the community. That way people will see that I'm actually in the community, that I'm not, you know, putting myself in all the time. And that helped me a lot over the years that I've been there. I think I made the right decision because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's up to you. Do you want to stay there or move? And from the experience what I've been through in my life, I thought, well, for what I've been through, this is nothing. But still, you know, for me to start packing and leaving to another place, it could happen again. So I thought, well, there must be a change along the way. And yeah, it did pay at the end.
Okay, I'm Tim Hilton. I'm the area manager here at Refugee Action. And Refugee Action have been heavily involved in this project, providing funding for it, and it's part of our vision for how to tackle and prevent hate crime by building links between people from different communities. So it's a really important piece of work for us. Refugee Action see approximately about 4,000 refugees and asylum seekers every year and provide advice and support to them. And many of those people have become victims of hate crime. So we provide a lot of support for those people. Hate crime can be a physical thing or it could be a verbal thing. There's a huge spectrum. So right at the most extreme end, it can be people fearing for their lives and fearing for their families' lives, all the way through to people feeling marginalised, feeling like they're being made to feel different, basically, and particularly where our clients, our refugees and asylum seekers we work with, are living in areas where they often do appear different from a lot of the people they live around. It's really important that it has an enormous impact on them to be made to feel different by the people that they're living with. And I think also it just sends out a message to refugees and asylum seekers that they're not welcome in this country, and what we want to do is tackle that and say that people are welcome and that we need to stamp out hate crime.
Salford's now growing, and I think people that have been here a while, they're saying that we've turned the corner. I mean, there was an exodus from Salford, and that corner has been turned, and the population is now rising, and we are, as a church, across the whole of Salford, are planning for life as it's becoming, not as it was. Now, interestingly, I think the buzz phrase is, and I think this is really helpful, Salford has got a fantastic past, but we don't want to live in it.
We try to be like carefully, you know. Sometimes we send a boss, you know, and family, he call us, like, because he's speaking your language sometimes. Sometimes I can't turn my phone, my dad, I will call you back later, you know, I can't say just only. Why? Even I've got, like, example, I've got shop, just that I'm working this shop, like, so sometimes I've got customer, you know, if somebody else, like my friend or different friend, if I speak in different language, you know, I try to tell him, I will ring you back. Maybe sometime I don't answer. Do you know why? Because some English people, he think I say something bad to him. You know what I mean? That's where I turn the phones off. You know what I mean?
I've got a son, and in the beginning it was very tough for him. He couldn't go out. Even he would have his friends from local school where he goes. They'll come and knock, let's play football outside. He wouldn't go out. He was frightened. But gradually over the years, because I was gaining confidence and he was seeing I was doing a bit well, outside in the community, he started getting involved in the local groups for children, like playing football and all that. And gradually he gained his confidence. But it got to a point he was so shattered he wouldn't want to play with anybody. He wants to stay in the house. And you can see he wants to go and do something, but there's that fear something might happen to me.
I suppose I got a responsibility because I am a council officer and I sit here in a reporting centre because the Broughton Resource Centre is a reporting centre. So I have an obligation to talk to anybody that comes through the building and reports what they think considered to be a hate crime. I also chair a group of officers who meet every month to deal with a whole series of issues to do with crime, but hate crime is one of those. This part of Salford is a very, very diverse community. There are people from any number of different backgrounds, whether that be from the countries they come from their religious background, from their colour, so within this community then there's clearly issues that may arise. That's not to say that they do, but that may arise, yeah. So therefore trying to ensure that everybody knows that we are doing whatever we can and there is a system in place to protect them and keep them safe is of paramount importance.
A friend of mine came to visit me and I was walking her home, and there's an alleyway where we live and there's a park as well. So I walked with her halfway, and we both had our kids with us, and she had a kid, she had put her kid on her back and she had one walking with her. And so we parted ways. I went back, and as soon as she was like 5 minutes away, I met a group of lads who were going her way. So something just told me, just keep phoning her, just find out if she gets home. All right. And 2 minutes later, I phoned her, and she was she picked up the phone, but she was running with the kid in the back, and you could hear like the insults. And she said to me, "Well, this phone police for me. This boy's running with a knife behind me, and she had a kid on her back." So immediately I froze because I was like, "Would she ever get a chance to get home? She's got a kid at her back." So that to me came like really that was happening. It is there, and we did. When she got home, she did eventually get police involved and all that. But yeah, so and since then she could not go out because of that, and it took her years. Yeah.
I've got a problem. Some people, he told me, because our skin look like we are Asian already. I can't say I'm from Europe, because no green eye and like a yellow hair. So everyone knows I'm Asian. But some people, he think they say, "Oh, it's from Pakistan, Paki." He call you Paki, Sometimes I say, I'm not Pakistani, man. They say, sometimes I can say, what's wrong with Pakistani people? But I can say something different, like maybe 100% I'm sure, like we got some foreigner, he do some bad thing. He did bad thing, That's why he show something bad to other people as well. That's why some people, he think, if he say one person, he do something bad, he think all of them is bad as well. But this is wrong. Look on your finger, not all the same.
I talk quite a lot about tradition is not nostalgia. And, we do traditional church, but that means moving forward. It doesn't mean living in a nostalgic past. And that's what I think church can do to help the city on its way. And not least working with the people.
My name's Sue Sutton. I work for Salix Homes, Director of Neighbourhood Services for Salix Homes. Salix Homes manages council houses within central Salford. Part of my role within Salix Homes is I manage the services that are delivered in the neighbourhoods. We have what we call our Safer Neighbourhoods team, and they deal with customers who suffer from antisocial behaviour, and part of that is hate crime. So that team manages reports of hate crime and supports people to report it, or supports people who are suffering hate crime. We firmly believe that any individual's got the right to live in peace. So yes, it is a key priority for us, but it is a key priority for us as well to kind of work with communities so that they are willing to come forward as well. We need to know, and we know potentially that there could be underreported hate crime incidents, and we need to understand what they are so that we can tackle them effectively.
It's just all different thing, different like, well, it's okay, like if we are Asian, what's wrong with the African as well? So they call some bad to African as well, you know what I mean? But I can say, I love English people, you know, because my job with the English people, like my customer, all English people. I can't say it's bad people. I can't say racist people everywhere, you know, racist people everywhere. So hopefully it going just like thinking that way is wrong, and he's not gonna do that again. Don't shout people, don't like break a heart people, because I look like you, I'm a human as well, you know what I mean? So what I do, I'm from different country. Hopefully I be in this country, English citizenship. No one told me that thing, you know what I mean? But that's why we are can come in this country, because we got bad situation in our country, you know. That's why I come in this country, you know. Even I didn't say right I'm Asian, but I live with. Even every day I try to ask people like about the English culture, English situation, English everything. How do English do it? How English like? Why? Because I'm from this country. Whole my life they will be here, so I'm gonna learn and from this culture. Even okay, when you say English, you are Asian or something like that. Okay, who's bringing Asian people in this country? Indian and Pakistani for year ago he's living in this country, you know. So I've got like maybe a relation together now. So what's wrong? Why?
Everybody's story is different. I mean, my one was particularly that one, and other women who I've met, they've gone through similar situations or different or quite similar. And some they've not come out. They've decided just to keep it themselves. And when they hear somebody else talking that I've been through that and this is what I did to be where I am now, kind of like it's an encouragement to them. I remember when I was actively involved in a women's group, there was a couple of women. We had to go with one of my friends to their houses, just tell them, just, you know, you can get out and do something rather than staying in and waiting for 3 o'clock to go and get your kids and come back in and close the doors and curtains and everything. There's more to it. And eventually they did get courage from that, and they got involved in doing some few projects in the community.
We have to try and do what we think we're supposed to do as a church. But we're well aware of the issues that we see played out, and people who talk and who are quite happy to enunciate and speak out about what they feel, and some of the language they use really makes you wince, because it's not good in today's world. It's old language which doesn't sit easily in an inclusive, in a wide and inclusive community that we feel we now operate within. So there's a teaching job. There's a teaching job as well as a support job, I think.
The only way forward really is engaging with people at a very young age, educating them, making them aware of what hate crime is, making them aware of the impact of hate crime on people, and then the hope is that they'll remember that later on in life, and it'll prevent hate crime from occurring.
It's a mixture really of intervention and enforcement, but also kind of creating cohesive communities.
The thing that we're particularly focused on is around prevention, so being able to identify some of the reasons, some of the community tensions that might be causing it, and trying to build links between people so that to try and decrease it in the future. And so certainly that particular side, absolutely massive priority.
First of all, you've got to be committed. The point that you just asked me, you know, how important is it? Well, it's got to be that important that we are up for doing anything at any time in order to overcome the problems. We have to have the systems in place that support people who are victims of hate crime, which means that it's not just this office and it's not just the police, but it's a range of people who can do a wide variety of things in order to protect that family.
I understand people say asylum seeker, you know. Sometimes I hold my passport with me, say asylum seeker, so I'm not, man.
A lot of people, they don't want to go out there. they don't know who to go and tell or share the story or what they're going through, so they just keep it to themselves.
The worst part about hate crime is when it's covert and it's not out there and people don't know about it because it's kept quiet. And I think the problem is probably bigger than most people realise.